In the early 1990s, WWE transitioned from the Golden Era into a new era that got dubbed the New Generation Era. It lasted for many years. The era was both good and bad for the company, as the product slowly improved with the influx of better wrestlers such as Shawn Michaels and the Harts. However, at the same time, business plummeted. While the roster was comparatively smaller in the New Gen era than in the Golden Era, we still saw a number of memorable wrestlers during this time. There were wrestlers who were quite unlikable for various different reasons. And while some people were good at being an annoying weasel of a heel, some were just bland and did not have a good gimmick. Hello and welcome to Honor Wrestling Club, and in today's video we'll be counting down the 9 most unlikable WWF wrestlers from the New Generation era. However, before we crack on with the list, I'd just like to take a moment to firstly welcome you to Honor Wrestling Club. It means a lot that you are here. And if you enjoy what you see and hear today, don't forget to hit that like button, share with your friends, and subscribe for more awesome content. And be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Who do you think is the worst or most annoying wrestler of the New Generation era? Now, without further ado, let's crack on with the list with number 9. The Bushwackers gimmick was too annoying at times. Their gimmick felt quite outdated for the New Generation era. During the 1980s and 1990s, the Bushwackers were a popular tag team in WWE. They joined WWE in 1988 during the Golden Era and continued their stint into the New Generation era. The tag team was quite unlikable though. Their gimmick was pretty disgusting if we're honest, as they went around licking people's heads, and they were too goofy, and their matches were also dreadful. Their characters were quite outdated for the era, and thus they only made sporadic appearances and would depart from the company in 1996. In number 8, we have the gimmick of Isaac Yankem DDS. It was a terrible idea, and this was a blatant example of the dreadful creative that was around in 1995. Glenn Jacobs, the wrestler behind Isaac Yankem DDS, is popular most notably for Kane, who is amongst the most recognised characters of WWE. However, before he would go on to have a Hall of Fame worthy career as the Big Red Machine, he was struggling in WWE. He portrayed several stupid characters such as Fake Diesel and the Christmas Creature. However, possibly the worst of the lot was the ridiculous character called Isaac Yankem. He naturally feud with Bret Hart following the King's feud with the Hitman, and they would have a match at SummerSlam 1995. The character was a complete failure, and fans did not care one bit whatsoever about the dentist. The gimmick was dropped soon, and eventually, and we mean eventually, he would become Kane in 1997, in possibly the greatest debut of all time. In number 7, we have Jerry the King Lawler, who knew how to get heat like not many others, and fans loved to hate the King. Jerry the King Lawler joined WWE in late 1992, and he would stay for the entire New Generation era, and he would become a prominent figure in the era. Although he was primarily a commentator and an occasional wrestler, he generated a lot of heat from the fans. He was great at his job and knew how to get under the skin of the crowd. His heel commentary was top notch, even though his stuff in the Attitude Era would be arguably better, and he would often say a lot of stuff that was below the belt. His biggest target was fan favourite Bret Hart, with whom he had had a feud, which also made Lawler hated amongst the crowd. If you want to see just how hated Lawler can get, check out some of the ECW stuff from the collabs WWF and ECW did in 1997. You will see some fans who were ready to lynch a man there. In number 6, we have Owen Hart, who was another fantastic heel, and possibly a very important heel turn for him, as it revived his entire career. Owen Hart was an incredible wrestler with immense talent. Nobody is disputing this fact. He was a babyface at the start of the New Generation era, and even formed a tag team with his brother Bret Hart, following another tag team he had with Jim Neidhart. However, he would turn on him at the beginning of 1994, and he would remain a heel for the rest of the New Gen era. His rivalry with Bret was amazing, arguably the best of the New Gen era, and also arguably the best brother versus brother rivalry ever put to sea. He was very good at playing his heel character, and he got heat from the crowd. The heat in this case was positive, as it meant that he was playing his character superbly. In number 5, we have Shawn Michaels, whose off-screen antics made it very difficult to like him, as he became too annoying backstage. Shawn Michaels is amongst the most recognisable and best wrestlers ever to grace WWE's ring. Shawn Michaels, along with Bret Hart, were the two best wrestlers during the New Gen era, and they practically carried the WWE's product during that era. He was a heel when the era began, and he then became a babyface later on. Fans loved Michaels for his talent, but his off-screen antics made him incredibly unlikable. He was Vince McMahon's favourite wrestler, so he misused this power and became unbearable backstage, and formed the Clique, who became notorious for politicking. In number 4, we have Yokozuna, who was a foreign monster heel. His character was made to attract hate from American patriots. Yokozuna would make his WWF debut in 1992. He was a heel monster, billed from Japan and managed by Mr. Fuji. He was an impressive worker for his size, and he did look quite threatening. He would receive an instant push and soon won the WWF title at WrestleMania 9, but would lose it shortly after Hogan in a dreadful bit of booking that we won't go into now. But at King of the Ring 1993, he would win the title again, and this time he would hold it all the way until WrestleMania 10, in what turned out to be a fairly okay run. As he was a foreign monster heel, he became naturally hated by the Americans. He played his character pretty well also, and Mr. Fuji did a fantastic job as his manager. We here at Honor Wrestling Club do feel that Yokozuna's run at the top didn't last long enough then, as he was dropped down the card and would soon be released. In number 3, we have Mabel, who was the wrong choice to win King of the Ring. Fans did not like his win, A, due to his lack of talent, and B, due to his reputation for injuring everybody. Mabel first made his debut as part of the tag team Men on a Mission, alongside Mo and Oscar, and they would even unofficially win the tag team titles. It was a face tag team, and they were decently popular amongst the fans. But things soon started to fall apart for Mabel once he turned heel and went solo. He was very limited in the ring, and was an incredibly unsafe worker to work with. However, WWE decided to push him as he was the biggest guy around who wouldn't ping a drugs test. And this meant he became 1995's King of the Ring winner. And he would also challenge Diesel for the WWE title at SummerSlam 1995 in the worst main event in the history of the show. It was obviously a bad decision to push him, and the decision didn't sit well with the fans, and Mabel became hated. In number 2, we're sticking with terrible wrestlers and big people, as we've got Giant Gonzalez, who was a terrible wrestler and was way too limited by what he could do in the ring. There is a reason why Giant Gonzalez is often mentioned when people talk about the worst wrestlers ever. He would make his first appearance in WWE during the 1993 Royal Rumble match, and began a feud with The Undertaker by attacking and eliminating him from the titular match. While Gonzalez's height was very impressive, his wrestling skills did not make up for this. He was too limited as a wrestler. His feud with The Undertaker would drag on for months, and it was dreadful. Both their matches at WrestleMania and SummerSlam sucked, and Gonzalez was gone from the company within the same year. And we've even spoken about the stupid singlet. In at number 1, we have Bastian Booger, whose gimmick was extremely gross, and it was amongst the worst gimmicks WWE would ever come up with. Bastian Booger is undoubtedly one of the most disgusting gimmicks ever seen in WWE, and we have the boogeyman who used to eat literal worms. He was brought into WWE in 1993, and he was initially called Friar Ferguson upon his debut, but was soon repackaged to Bastian Booger in mid-1993. The gimmick was allegedly a punishment given to the wrestler for his weight. He was constantly eating food and wore an atrocious attire. The gimmick was obviously hated by the fans, and he would lose most of his matches and would be gone from the company by the end of 1994. And there you have it, there's our list. So what did you think? Be sure to let me know in the comments down below. But I'd just like to thank you for watching, and if you've enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to Honor Wrestling Hub for more videos like this in the future. However, until next time, I'd just like to once again thank you for watching, and welcome to the club. See ya!